part two. I think in this video I'm going to speak about trauma, non-duality, and trauma. Um, I see how it's hard to make these videos too when you don't have anybody asking you the question, because I'm like coming from my own thoughts, thinking that somebody needs this answer, and nobody needs this answer until it appears that way. But anyway, um, trauma, so trauma is like just suppressed energy in the body, and it feels very real, and it can control your life because it is the conditioning. The human mind gets conditioned throughout our lifetimes, and the things that happen to us cause the conditioning. And the conditioning is why we do and feel and act out what we do in the earth school. So even depression, this video probably can be more so about depression instead of trauma. Let's let it go that way. Because I remember I recently, even when I heard this message, I thought depression was going to be over for me. And I went through my last, well, I don't know, it could come again, I don't know. But I went through the latest form of depression maybe like 4 weeks ago. And whew, like right after the new year. And it was terrifying because I thought I found non-duality, and I was healing myself, and kind of like I found all of the answers. And what happened was there was still meanness left. There was still the me that felt it needed to do things to be in a better state. So I could see why the depression would arise. And then at which you guys can probably relate to, once you're in a depression, you're thinking and believing it's not going to leave, which makes it worse. So it kind of plays on itself. But once I got out of it, I realized I got back on, because I even stopped listening to Non-Duality for like 2 days and everything. It was just like, oh my God, this is horrible. It's back. No, I need to take my ADHD medication, like, because I wasn't on anything. I was like free, just no liquor, nothing, just chilling. And I was like, oh my God, I need to I called my mother up here, like, no, none of this works. And then once like the next 2 days passed and some time passed, I went back on YouTube and started looking at this stuff, and I seen like Depressed About Non-Duality, and then I seen people talking about depression, Jeff Foster, Jim Carrey, some other person on here, and they simplified it as like, we get wrapped up in depression, and it really is just sensations moving through the body. And yes, it like shuts the body down, like it does those things. And you can think of it, Jeff Foster said, as like deep rest, like the body is going into deep rest finally. And even the Dark Night of the Soul, like I just started looking at it as something different, as like, oh, this is just still a part of my process. Like, this is not something that I have to deal with for the rest of my life. You see how we add the story to things? And it's like, no, that appeared and now it's not appearing anymore. And even that was a shock, because when I first experienced depression like 2 or 3 years ago for the first time ever, ooh, that was terrifying. And I'll get more into that in another video. But that stayed for years, for like 2 or 3 years ago, and it continued on, like on and off. And yeah, I had to do things to pull me, of course, had to attach to things to pull myself out of it, which is fine, because that's, you want to make yourself feel better. But this time it came and went very quickly. So that was a shock. I was like, what was this? It felt very real. It felt like, oh my God, it's fully back. It's fully on. And then it went in like 2 days. And then I got a different understanding of it. And I was like, oh, this is just like, this is a part of the human experience, and losing the ego and losing the process of losing the me. You're dying in a sense. That sounds crazy, but your ego is dying. So the things that you feel like you need to do, and the things that you're attached to, you're losing the concept of those. So depression will arise. But do what you need to do to take care of yourself. The dark night of the soul, and people can go through this for lifetimes, like not even lifetimes. Let's stick for one lifetime, but people can go through this for years, like on and off depression for years. That I just started looking at it differently. Like, is this what's been going on in society? Like, people have been depressed for years, and it's just like the dark night of the soul, like just extended. It's just not understanding what depression is, and being attached to the me for years and trying to heal the me and the cycle of the me. But once you lose the me, because you realize it's all just happening, like stop attaching to these things. Yes, they feel real because they're supposed to, but stop attaching meaning stop adding we have to stop adding a story to what's like, I'm going to be depressed for the rest of my life, I'm going to be in pain for the rest of my life, I'm going, like, just deal with it in the now. So if it arises in the now, take care of it in the now. Take your medication, don't take your medication, go to a meditation class, don't go to meditation, whatever you need to do. Go to work, walk your dog, go with your partner, don't do anything, whatever. But it's stay in the now. That's what being grounded is. When you stay in the now, you don't, the me stops attaching and making it worse. And it goes through, it moves through. And it's just you releasing that conditioning, that human conditioning that made us. Sorry. I'm expressing a lot, but this character, this has been a lot of pent up stuff within this character for a long time. So it's probably coming out all over the place, but take what you want from it or not. That's it. And yeah. Stay tuned.